What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the week's hottest topics. This is going to be the hot topic. These are going to be the hot topics for the week of December the 3rd through December the 10th or 9th, whichever day I don't know. But hey, before we get into it, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't yet subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date every week and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and by sharing the video, you guys. And with that, let's discuss what is hot and what is trending this week, shall we? All right, you guys. So the first story that we're going to talk about this week is going to be a sad story. So we got to say, rest in peace to Kirstie Alley. Now, you guys may know Kirstie Alley from a slew of TV, slew of things, right? I most know her from her time on Cheers, where she played Rebecca Howe. And then I remember her from It Takes Two, one of my favorite movies as a kid. And also Look Who's Talking. So those are my favorite things that she was in. So Kirstie Alley passed away this week. She was 71 years old, and she had just recently, I don't think they said how long, but I know it hasn't been that long, but she had been diagnosed with, colon cancer. So she passed away at 71 years old. Rest in peace to Kirstie Alley. Very sad. I loved Kirstie Alley. Now, I know that over the last 4 years, she's, her politics was that she aligned with who, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to take away from who she was. Like I said, remember her from watching her on Cheers. Went from watching her on Cheers to It Takes Two to Look Who's Talking. She also was on Dancing with the Stars. So yeah, Kirstie, rest in peace to Kirstie Alley. So let's pause here and let's move over to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys, so the next story is a congratulations. So we got to say congratulations to our girl, Keke Palmer. So if you guys did not know, Keke Palmer hosted SNL last Saturday night. And I watch SNL every Saturday unless there's somebody on there that I don't particularly want to watch, which the only time this season that I've tuned out was when Amy Schumer hosted. I'm not the biggest fan of Amy Schumer, so I just wasn't feeling it. So I was like, you know what? It is what it is. We're not going to watch it. So yeah, I just decided not to watch it. But Keke, when she did her opening monologue, she revealed that she is pregnant with her first child with her boyfriend. So I was like, I remember when, I remember seeing her and her boyfriend in, her Instagram post, right? And I was like, who is he? So I did a little digging, and people are saying that he is the brother of Sarunas Jackson from Games People Play and from Insecure. The guy that, remember the one that Molly had the threesome with? So that's his little brother. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, Keke, like I said, Keke is pregnant. So looks like, and when I was looking at her, because when she opened up her jacket that she had on, it looked like Keke is anywhere between, I think she's probably still it looked like she's probably still in her first trimester. Maybe she might be into her second. But yeah, nonetheless, congratulations to Keke Palmer. I'm happy for her. I really am. I'm really, really happy for Keke. I'm so proud of Keke and all the things that she's done and accomplished. I am super duper proud of Keke. So yeah, congratulations to Keke and to her boyfriend. So they will be expecting a baby in the near future. So let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. All right, you guys, so the next story up is about Brittney Griner, you guys. So if you guys have been living under a rock these last few days, Then you don't know, but Brittany Griner, who has been in Russia since before the Ukraine war started, and that was earlier this year when the war with Ukraine started, and it's still currently going on. I just don't understand Vladimir Putin. Like, Ukraine has shown to be a formidable foe for Russia. They're not just going in and taking things, taking over the Ukraine the way that I guess Vladimir Putin would have expected, right? So we all know the story about Brittany Griner that, she plays in Russia. She played for a Russian team and she was on her way to Russia, but she didn't get the message not to go to Russia. And when she got there to the airport, she had the, I think it's cannabis oil. I'm not positive, but she had the vape pen. I know it was a vape pen. She had the vape pen with her, and they detained her. They took her. She had her trial. They sentenced her to 7, 9 years or something like that in a Russian prison. Then you guys remember that they transferred her to like a quote unquote, I would say it's like a slave camp, right? So you guys know that her wife, Sherelle, has been, her biggest advocate for getting BG back home. And some months ago, they had been talking about this deal that, the Biden administration was trying to work out with Russia, where they would exchange, the Russian arms dealer, I think his name is Victor Bout. They were going to exchange him for both Brittany and for Paul Whelan. So it's been some months since I had heard that, so I was like, what's going on with that deal, right? So this week, it came out that Brittany was on her way back to the U.S. because, they had made a deal to exchange Brittany for the arms dealer. Now, I know people are on social media, even who was on social media talking about that was a bad deal. You got that crackpot Marjorie Taylor Greene who's talking about she's gonna bring up articles of impeachment. Ma'am, do you not know what an impeachable offense is? And you know who? You are one to talk because you incited an insurrection against the Capitol on January 6th, and we have not forgotten about that. So, Brittany's home now. Now, when I think about it, I'm very happy that she's home, so I'm not going to sit here and say anything. I'm very, very happy that Brittany is home. Hopefully, she never goes back to Russia. And, like I previously stated, this should be a wake-up call for the WNBA, right? That they need to adequately pay the women that play in the WNBA because the men make millions and millions of dollars, whereas the women, they only make, I think the highest paid is like $500,000 maybe. So you really got to look at the disparity between what the men in the NBA make versus what the women make. And I know there also is an issue that they can't really pack the seats for the WNBA at times. So it's just a lot of things that needs to change within the organization, right? So my thing, I don't have a problem. Well, yes, I do. The only thing that I just think about is the fact that, like I said, nonetheless, I'm happy that Brittany is home, right? I'm happy that she's home. I just think to myself that there is a dangerous arms dealer who is now released. So he's free to go back to doing what he was doing previously, and he doesn't like the U.S., so it's kind of scary, right? And I also wonder about what's going to happen with Paul Whelan, right? I do feel bad for him and his family. And I know that I believe Brittany's wife, who graduated from law school, she wants to continue to fight to get Paul Whelan back home. And I hope that happens, right? I definitely hope that happens. But we all know what the issue was with Brittany. There's a difference between Brittany and Paul. And let's just be real. The difference between Brittany and Paul is Brittany was a WNBA player, so she is more known than Paul was. So with Russia, to me, these are my personal opinions. You guys can let me know if you agree or disagree. When it comes to Whelan, he is just a normal citizen, right? I know he's a I think a Marine, right? When they saw Brittany, That was political leverage. That was leverage to get what Russia wanted. That's all I feel. So let me know what you guys think about Brittany being home. Are you happy that she's home? How do you feel about the fact that they traded her, her for an arms dealer? Let me know down in the comment section below and we will discuss it there. So let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So this story with Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. So I told you guys about it last week about them coming out that those two were having an extramarital. Well, I don't know if you would call it an extramarital affair because they're both separated from their respective spouses, right? Now, TJ Holmes' soon-to-be ex-wife, she was under the impression that she and TJ were working things out, and I was like, ooh. Y'all were working things out, huh, girl? Did you not see your man just groping Amy Robach's ass? Speaking of which, his name, TJ, right? I always wondered what the TJ stood for. And I'm still thinking, what the hell does TJ stand for? Because his name is Lutilius. Lutilius. Where does TJ come in at? And I like TJ Holmes, but where does that come in at, right? So last week, I didn't mention it last week because I didn't know what they were going to do because last week let me think about last week. Well, last week I watched GMA3 all week. So last week they were on the show and TJ was like, it's going to be a long weekend. He was talking about Friday, right? So then this week, when the show started, it was Monday, and there was no TJ Holmes nor Amy Robach. They had been, taken off the air, and they were, I know, earlier this week, it was, who was it? I can't think of the young lady who was hosting, but I know it was, goddamn, what is his name? What is his name? Because I watch GMA all the time, and I can't think of the guy's name, but it was his name, it was right on the tip of my tongue, and I forgot it. Gio Benitez. Gio Benitez was hosting earlier this week, and I know going towards the end of this week, I know they announced someone else, that DeMarco something, I can't remember his name, but TJ and Amy, they said, so originally they said that they weren't going to be disciplined, right? But this week, Amy and TJ are not on GMA3. Dr. Jen Ashton is still there, but TJ and Amy are not, right? So then this story gets even more interesting with TJ because TJ has a past. I was like, ooh, TJ, Lutilius, you got a bit of an issue, buddy. Your penis has been dipping and doing within the confines of GMA. So it wasn't just Amy Robach that he's been, having an affair with. He had an affair with the producer. I was like, oh my God. I wonder what's in their contract. Like, because like most jobs, if you're gonna have a relationship with someone, most times you have to, inform upper management of it. And then I know in most jobs, a manager and an employee, they don't like that because that could get, that can get messy in so many different areas. So I just wonder, I just wonder what's in that contract for them because, wow, very interesting, very interesting, very interesting. TJ, Lutilius, bruh, you couldn't go to maybe, the Today Show, Hold Us show, anybody show, but you had to do it within your own office. Again, like I said last week, I'm not going to sit here and judge because I've done my fair share. I've had a few office romance. Well, no, just one. And like I told you guys last week, it ended amicably. We're friends. But I would, at 33 years old, I'm not going to do it today. At 33, won't do it. These, when I did it, it was in my 20s, my early 20s, and that was it. 33, we ain't doing it. We're not doing it. Like, I just, it ain't for me. It gets messy. Like, office relationships tend to get messy. And especially if you're both, if one person is married, that tends to shit up, right? Oh, I wonder what I really do want to. I mean, because technically, I guess it just depends on what's in the contract. Because TJ and Amy are both consenting adults, unless something comes out that he, forced himself on these women. Ugh, but it's messy, and we gonna keep our eyes on it. We're gonna keep our eyes on this, you guys. So let's pause here and let's move over to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next story, let's talk real quick about Takeoff. So we know Takeoff was, he was murdered on November the 1st. Wow, it's already been a month. So you guys know that there have been so many stories about what happened the night of his, the night that it happened, right? So this week there was a murder in his murder. So the person that was arrested, his name is Patrick Xavier Clark. So now you guys remember when this first happened, there were so many different stories out there about what happened. That there was a dice game that went wrong and that Takeoff wasn't involved in it, but not Offset, but Quavo was involved in it, and Takeoff had tried to defuse it, right? So there is some truth in that story, and there was a dice game. So they were at a bowling alley, I believe, in Houston, and there was a dice game, and that dice game did go wrong, and they said that Takeoff wasn't involved in it. He was an innocent bystander, right? So this person, Patrick, what's his name again? Patrick Xavier Clark, right? So the police have arrested him in connection to, Takeoff's murder, right? So this guy is saying that he didn't shoot anybody, right? He didn't do anything. So he went to the court and he asked the court for $5,000 to be able to hire a private investigator to investigate this, to investigate the case, right? So the reason why he's asking for the $5,000, let me back that up. So the reason why he's asking for that is because of the fact that his family has exhausted, all their money to obtain an attorney, right? And this attorney that he has is working at a reduced rate. So he's asking the court for $5,000 so that he can hire the private investigator. So the court has agreed, the court has granted him that. So he found a private investigator. So the private investigator is going to work at $85 an hour. So what they're going to do is they're going to be able to go to the jail to talk to him. They're going to be able to take recordings, laptops, and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to go to the court, not the court, but to the jail to work with him. Very interesting. So they're working for $85 an hour. That's a lot of money. Like $85 an hour. That $5,000 is going to go by pretty quickly at $85 an hour. I know they said it's a reduced rate, but that's still pretty expensive. But you'll do whatever you can to prove your innocence. So, like I said, he's proclaiming that he's innocent, that he didn't shoot anybody. But my thing is, the cops wouldn't have arrested you if they didn't have, because gunpowder residue, ballistics. So we'll see what happens. And listening to everything that happened, it just sounds like, especially with him being an innocent bystander, it just sounds like it was kind of like when you go to the club and how when you go to the club, now mind you, I haven't been to the club in I haven't been to the club since I was in my 20s. But back in the day when me and my friends used to go out to the clubs, niggas get to fighting in the club. Then the club let out, they still outside ready to fight, and they be out there fighting, and then somebody just gets and just pops in the air. Like that happened numerous times when me and my friends used to go out. I'm like, and we would have to, we would run because we didn't know where the bullets were going to fall. Like I just never understood why people do that. That's the dumbest thing to me. And I still, and that's what also bothers me too, when it comes to things like this, right? When it comes to just like I always say, like you can fight, right? If you get your ass beat up, you just get beat up and just live to fight another day. Like you don't have to sit here and pull out your weapons and start shooting, because that's when the free stuff like this happen, where innocent people get hit because of you being pissed off that you got beat up or whatever. I'm not saying that that's what happened in this case, but I'm just saying in general, it's just stupid, very, very dumb. So we're going to keep our eyes on this case as it goes forward. We're going to see with this private investigator if he's able to prove innocence, which I don't know how you can prove innocence in this situation, right? I don't understand how you, like, if there's a ballistic report and the gun, the bullets that were in Takeoff's body matches the bullets from your gun, I don't know how you can say that you're innocent. I'm not following that. But hey, like I said, we'll keep our eyes on it and we will see how things progress going forward. But that's really all I got for that story, you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. Are you guys happy that this person has been arrested? What do you guys think about the fact that he has now hired a private investigator to, again, I'm still stuck on what is this private investigator supposed to prove? I think that's where I'm stuck at. I just don't know. I don't understand how the private investigator will help in this situation. Like, I'm really thinking about that from a logical standpoint. Like, when a private investigator, like, I know with a private investigator, you would want them to look into, like, the only way that a private investigator could clear him, but even that's if they could just say he wasn't there. But then this is very interesting, and like I said, I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes on it, because when I speak it out loud, I just start to have these questions of how, and how. Like, I get what a private investigator is for, but I don't know how the private investigator will help in this particular case if, again, a ballistics report shows it was your gun. I'm confused. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below, and we will talk about it there. So let's just go ahead and pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. All right, you guys, so the next thing that I want to talk about is Wendy Williams. So I don't have this in my notes, so this is just going to be me talking out loud about Wendy. You guys, so when it comes to Wendy Williams, I have to be honest with you guys. I wasn't always like the biggest fan of Wendy. I didn't always watch her show. Like, I would watch Wendy's show here and there when there would be somebody on there that I wanted to listen to and watch. So I wasn't like an avid Wendy watcher. I was a social Wendy Williams watcher. I mostly knew Wendy from her radio days, especially that interview with Whitney Houston. Oh, Whitney was ready to go down to the radio station and find Wendy and whoop Wendy's ass. So, like I said, I was more so a fan of Wendy on the radio. But I wasn't like a huge fan of Wendy, but I liked her and Charlamagne together. Then when she got the show, I watched Wendy Williams here and there. So I did see an interview here, a week or two weeks ago maybe, where she was talking Now, I will say Wendy did look good, but I still kind of question, you know, up here how she is, because then after that, I saw a video where I don't know if this was TMZ or whoever, but somebody saw her going toward her apartment, right? And she was like, "Can I have your hand? Can I have your hand?" And the person who was recording her just ignored her. So the person, it was a woman at the door that grabbed her hand. I was like, how rude can you be? You're recording this woman, and when she was walking into the building, she still like, I don't know, you guys, because Wendy, like in the interview, she looked good, but then we saw this video of her. She, like that's been my issue when it comes to Wendy. There are times she just looks very disheveled, and I just don't know if Wendy is okay. I want Wendy to be okay. Like I really do want her to be okay, and I do love the fact that the interview that she was at, they gave her her flowers, and I'm appreciative of that, because Wendy, she really did change the game for daytime television, right? Because she was doing it by her. She was her own host. Her audience was her co-host. The Purple Chair. She was doing Hot Topics. She wasn't doing the things that you see on The View, The Talk, and stuff like that. She was doing her own thing where she was just talking about celebrity gossip. Like she was really talking about the gossip of the celebrities, right? And I know in the beginning of her show, it was hard for her to get guests on the show because with that damn radio show, she had pissed so many people off, right? She had pissed so many people off. I remember when because I think I watched her first few episodes when she started, and she was like, "We're just gonna have an extended Hot Topic because we don't have a guest because I don't piss so many people off, right?" But even with that, she's pissed a lot of people off, but there are a lot of people that 100% love Wendy, right? So this week, two stories came out about Wendy. So the first one was about her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter. So you guys know Kevin was getting alimony from Wendy. Baby, ooh, him and Sharina living off of Wendy. Well, right now they're not currently living off of anybody, right? Because he hasn't been getting his alimony paychecks, right? And that's the other thing with this whole situation with Wells Fargo. You guys know Wells Fargo froze her accounts because they didn't feel that she was in perfect health to make sound decisions for herself, right? So they assigned a kind of like, I think it's like what with Britney Spears, a conservator. Actually, it's a conservator over her money. So Kevin is saying that he's facing, ooh, shit. Sorry, you guys. So Kevin is saying that he's facing foreclosure, and yeah, let's keep it real. I really don't I don't feel anything for Kevin. I'm just gonna be 1,000% honest with you guys. I feel absolutely nothing for the man, right? After what you've done to Wendy, have you ever heard of something I like to call karma? She is coming back to bite you and your girlfriend in the ass. Like, that's what karma is doing, right? So the next story that I heard earlier this week was about her son, Little Kevin, right? So you guys know Little Kevin lives in Miami, right? I think he was going to school. Now, I don't know if he's still in school or not. That has nothing to do with this. But Little Kevin lives in Miami, and, Wendy got him an apartment, right? So Wendy paid for the first year of the apartment. So that lease has currently ran out. So he's been living in the apartment paying month to month. I'm like, ooh, like, because which apartment? So it was my second apartment that I had. The lease had ended, right? And they had put a note on my door. They were like, it was just, actually, no, it was just before my lease was scheduled to end. They had put a note on my door to let me know, hey, your lease is coming up. My lease ended in July of that year. So they're like, your lease is coming up, so you can either renew it at, the new rate, which it went up about a few dollars or so at that time. So it went up. they were like, you can renew your lease at this rate for another year, or you can pay it month to month at this rate. And the month to month rate was a lot more than what it would be if I renewed it for another year. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not about to sit here and pay this shit month to month. So we renewed the lease. So I can only imagine what that month to month is for him, right? So that month to month sounds like it was going unpaid because they have now filed eviction for against little Kevin. So he's been evicted from his apartment, and that just then goes back to the question of, like, I know when they were talking about assigning someone to her conservatorship, that people felt like it should have been her son, right? And I agree and disagree at the same time, you guys. I still feel the same way I felt then. Little Kevin is 22 years old. Like, like, you, it's hard to ask a 22-year-old to take care of their parents, right? It's very hard to ask of that. So I want him to just enjoy his young life and live his life and not have to be bogged down by the finance, by having to deal with this and this and this and that when it comes to his mother. But then when I think about it, who is a person that's assigned to her conservatorship? Because it sounds like you're not doing the things that Wendy needs done in her life, taking care of the bills that need to be paid, because Big Kevin ain't getting his alimony check. Little Kevin's rent wasn't getting paid. So what are you doing for Wendy anyways? It sounds again like this Britney Spears situation, like where people are taking advantage of someone who is not of sound mind. And it's just despicable, if we're being honest with each other. It's deplorable and it's despicable. But I can only wish for the best for Wendy, and I know that, she had to go back to rehab. I just don't know. When it comes to Wendy, I know I said it plenty of times that I felt like she had slipped back into her addiction, but also I kind of do believe those rumors where people were saying it looked like it was dementia. I'm slowly believing those rumors more and more, because like I said, that video that I saw of Wendy when she was going back to, I think it was her apartment. When you see that video, she kind of looked out of it, right? But then the interview she was in, she looked very lucid. But that is a sign. That is what happens with dementia. You have your good moments and you have your bad moments. So I don't know, but I know I can. The one thing I can do is continue to pray for Wendy, for her, her health, that she's okay. But yeah, I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this situation here, and we will discuss it further in the comment section below. So let's pause here and let's move over to our last story of the day. All right, you guys. So the last story of the day is actually a very sad story. So it's about Celine Dion. So Celine Dion, I saw it earlier this week. She was on GMA. And, she was talking about, so you guys know Celine Dion, she stays on tour. I've never gotten to see Celine Dion. Celine Dion is somebody that I've always wanted to see, and somebody else that I really want to see, but I don't feel like I'm going to be able to see her next weekend here in Dallas, is Anita Baker. Anita Baker's going to be here in Dallas on December the 17th. I just don't think I'm going to go see her. And I really, really want to go to see her. I really want to see Anita Baker. We'll see. But this is about Celine Dion. So Celine Dion reveals that she has this rare neurological disease called stiff person syndrome. So now, I wonder if it's anything what it sounds like, because stiff person, so stiff meaning you can't move. So I'm wondering if it's got to do with her muscles, her joints, and her bone, like all that stuff. If she gets to the point where she can't move her body, you guys, let's pray for Celine Dion. So she is canceling the tours that she has scheduled. Poor Celine. That is just. I talked earlier about Kirstie Alley having, colon cancer, and now Celine Dion with the stiff person's disease, the stiff person's syndrome. If that doesn't tell us anything, I mean, it just tells us that we need to take really good care of our body. Go to and I even gotta speak for myself. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. Get these things checked. If you feel something's wrong in your body, go get checked out. Right? Don't say, oh, it'll probably go away tomorrow. It'll probably. And I feel like I'm talking to myself with this situation, because I'm notorious for doing that when it comes to certain things. I'll be like, it'll pass over. It ain't that big of a deal. It ain't that big of a deal. I'll be okay. Let me pop a Tylenol. Let me do this. Let me do that, and move on with my life. So yeah, prayers up for Celine Dion and her family. I don't believe that there's a cure for it, but I'm pretty sure she has the money to have a team of doctors that can help her through this situation. But yeah, that's all I gotta say is prayers up for Celine Dion, her family, and everybody that's around her. And that's really all I got this week for Hot Topics. It wasn't a lot of stories, you guys, but that's it. Let me know what you guys thought about each and every story that we discussed this week. And I will catch you guys. I will see you guys. So what do we have coming up this weekend? So we got Love and Marriage Huntsville this week. We have Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love During Lockup, the season finale. Thank you, God. Oh, you guys, Love During Lockup. This season of Love During Lockup, it just has not been good. It's been very, very boring. And I have not enjoyed it at all. But I know you guys watched the reviews, and I absolutely appreciate you guys for the reviews, watching the reviews. So yeah, Love During Lockup, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and also we got Real Housewives of Potomac on Sunday, you guys. So those are gonna be the videos that you'll see from me. And I think that's all we got, you guys. Oh, I do want to say one thing to you guys real quick, because December is going pretty fast, right? Because we got because next week, not next week, but the week after next is Christmas, and then we have New Year. So you guys know that my channel is about to be 5 years old. Can you guys believe that I have been on YouTube now actually, I technically have been making content on YouTube for 5 years, but I've had this YouTube channel since 2009. And so yeah, for my anniversary, I feel like, my anniversary, I feel like we're gonna go live, you guys. You guys know how I feel about live. You guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of doing anything live, but I do feel like I want to celebrate 5 years on YouTube by going live and just having just talking about whatever, you guys. We can talk about we can do hot topics. We can do hot topics. We can do we can talk about the TV show. We can just talk about whatever. We can just shoot the shits with each other. But yeah, you guys. So my anniversary is January the 2nd of my first video. So, because the very first video that I ever did was Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 1 review, Episode 1. So yeah, we will so I feel like I'm gonna go live to talk about that. I feel like we're just gonna go live, just go live and see who joins us, and we can, if you guys want to call in, you guys can call in. I doubt that anybody don't want to call in, but yeah, we'll go live on January 2nd, and we will just have a good time with each other, just celebrate me being on here for 5 years. 5 years, can't believe it. Hard to believe that I've been doing this for 5 years. I have my ups and downs with YouTube, but hey, it is what it is, you guys. But that's it, you guys. We do this every week, same time, same place, same channel. Sorry, now sometimes we know that these videos are late, but hey, life gets in the way, my job gets in the way, and you guys. So also with that one, I am still going to give you guys a story time about the job the apartment. You guys see we're in the apartment. You guys can see my kitchen. You guys can see certain things. I've been, it's been bothering me that I didn't want anything in the background, but I'm like, it is what it is. You guys can see my Advil bottle, my Buffalo Wild Wings, my little fryer, my little Coke can over here with my change in it, and my desktop computer. You guys can see all of this has been bothering me this entire time, but we're family. We're family. It's not a mess, so it is what it is. But that's it, you guys. I will see you guys in the next one.